guys, good evening. So welcome to the Intune demo. I have about 11 years of experience in end-user computing space. I've been working as an architect for one of the companies. I'm based out of Bangalore. So I design end-user computing infrastructures, and I've been teaching Intune for about 4 years now. It was part of my SCCM course. Then slowly it moved on to become a separate product on its own. Now I teach Intune separately. I also take SCCM and application packaging classes as well. Okay, I'm not a full-time trainee, so I take 1 or 2 batches a month. Depends on number of students there are for different batches. Now, I would like to understand, more my audience so that I can place my demo in a way that you will understand, and so that you can make a decision on joining the class or not. So firstly, I'll tell you about the class. Okay, Saita, you're still not audible. Okay, the class is going to be about completely end-to-end Intune. Okay, this is mostly for the guys who are into this SCCM, so we'll be concentrating a lot on the Windows side. Okay, especially I'll be equating, or I'll be drawing parallels with your SCCM so that you can easily understand what part of SCCM is getting covered in Intune. Say you have discovery methods in SCCM, then that is called enrollments. Now, obviously they are different, but ultimately the end goal is bringing them onto your SCCM console or bringing them onto your Intune console. So there are about 8 to 9 methods in which your machines can come into your Intune, but that depends on what kind of a scenario. There are multiple scenarios, okay, in which a machine can or your Intune infrastructure can work. Now, let me give you 2 main scenarios which most of you guys will be facing in your production. Okay, so what are those 2 main scenarios? Let me take up a notepad before that. So first one is your Azure AD join. So what is this Azure AD join? So this is only cloud only approach. So when I say cloud only approach, no on-premise AD, that is no on-premise Active Directory, no SCCM, nothing. Just directly take your Windows 10 machine, put it in Azure Active Directory, start managing it with your Intune. But this is not, out of 10 projects which I'm basically solutioning, only 1 or 2 I'm getting Azure AD join. Obviously, after 5 years, everything is going to be Azure AD join. It's not going to be hybrid AD join. But currently, the clients are little skeptical to go to Azure AD join completely. Now, why are clients skeptical to go to hybrid AD join? The reason is the apps that we are using require line of sight. Most of the apps that enterprise level applications that we are using require line of sight to your on-premise AD. When I say line of sight, when you log into your on-premise app for some app, when you log in, it should go get authenticated with your Azure Active Directory using your Kerberos authentication. Then it should open the app. For this reason, okay, large enterprises are still using hybrid AD join. I think those of you with much experience will agree with me. Yes or no? Guys, you can be interactive here. Yeah.
Yeah, Kishore.
So yeah. Now what we will be doing is, so I'll just give you a small diagram now. Okay, before I go into the Intune console and all those things. And guys, Intune is very, very easy, provided you understand what is happening when you click on something. On the back end, say if you click on devices, okay, if you go to devices, if you click on all devices, something you want to do, say you want to restart this device, Okay, when you click on restart, you want to wipe this device. When you click on wipe, what is happening in the wipe? So all those definitions in detail I'll tell you. Okay, now let me give you a detailed flow of how a hybrid ready join looks, how an Azure ready join looks. These are the two things, basic stuff, which you should know before even starting Intune. Okay, now let me open MS Paint. Okay, now what will happen is, say imagine you have your end user device here, then you have your Azure cloud here. Imagine this is as your Intune MDM. Now what will happen is, your end user machine, so your client machine, will first talk to your Azure Active Directory. Okay, still your Intune is not come into picture at all. It is not there. Your Intune is not yet come. Okay, it will get enrolled. Now you're enrolling your personal device, enrolling your company rolled device. It depends. Okay. Now what will happen is, after the machine is come to this client machine is come onto this Azure Active Directory, your mobile device management, it has to be enabled, okay, to fetch the information. So basically this we call it as auto enrollment. After your auto enrollment is enabled, okay, after your auto enrollment is enabled, then your client will start populating here. Okay, very simple process. After it is enrolled, your client starts populating here. You will be able to manage Intune. So if you, when I say manage, what are you going to manage? Deploy apps, deploy configuration policies, configuration profiles. This is the equivalent to your GPO. Okay, then configure autopilot. Okay, this is one scenario. Yes. Any questions, Santosh?
No, we can push updates also. Windows 10.
Come again?
11. We can push updates, operating system.
Windows update for business. Yes, yes. Okay, like this, you can do many things. Okay, this is basically your Intune will manage all those things. Now, this is Azure AD Join scenario. Very simple scenario, not much of a problems. If you get this project, take it. Okay, your life will be very nice. Okay, next comes our nightmare stuff. Hybrid Azure AD Join. Why do I say this hybrid Azure AD Join as nightmare? It's because you are trying to integrate a legacy infrastructure, that is your on-premise AD, into a modern device infrastructure, that is your Azure Active Directory. And the most of the issues happen only during the autopilot process. You will have a nightmare. Other than that, application deployment all will not have any problems. Only for the autopilot, you will have a lot of problems. I'll talk about those problems, how to resolve those problems in the class. Okay, where you have to be vigilant, what questions has to be asked. If you have to raise a Microsoft ticket, how it has to be raised. Okay, what questions should be put to when you raise a ticket, so that since the product is still evolving, it will be very interesting to work in this kind of an infrastructure if you have a good, very inclusive client. Okay, if the client is not very inclusive and problematic, then you have your day. Now let me how this Azure AD Join works. Same. Okay, now I have your client machine here. Okay, so this client machine is there. Then you have your Azure Active Directory. Then still you have your MDM. Now we have your on-premise Active Directory. Now I'm assuming the machine, this client machine, is already there. in your Azure on-premise Active Directory. From here, what we will do, we will use Azure AD Connect and put it in our Azure Active Directory. Okay, then machine will start talking to your Azure Active Directory. How it gets enrolled and all those things, we'll see it later. There are many enrollment methods that will happen. And your Intune will be connected to your Azure Active Directory, and from there it will manage. Now what will happen is the client will be already present here. This looks pretty simple, guys, but it's not so. And from here, your Azure AD Connect will get synced. It will move your client and users onto your cloud. From there, the device information is coming here, and from here you'll be able to manage your client. Now, if you have SCCM, all of you guys are SCCM guys, right? If you have SCCM, where will the SCCM be? Your SCCM will be here, right? Your SCCM will be here. Now your SCCM will be in line of sight to your Azure Active Directory. And what will happen? This whole scenario that you have here. Sorry, I don't think so. I can put this whole scenario. Where can I draw? Yeah. Not pretty sure. Okay, this client, this Intune here. Okay, this Intune. Then you have your client machine here. All of this is Intune and SCCM. This scenario will become something called as co-management. Okay. Now, when a co-management happens, what is actually controlling your workloads? Your SCCM is actually SCCM client is controlling the workloads. That means you can decide for your Intune to do application deployment, or your SCCM should do the application deployment, or your Intune should manage the patch management, or your SCCM should manage the patch management. This kind of a decision making has to be done before even you implement your Intune. Okay, so that there is no overlap, or there is no you cannot do an overlap. Either only one can work when it comes to co-management. So now what will happen is, when it comes to autopilot, this is the autopilot is what? Bringing in a fresh machine onto your environment, a brand new machine out of the box you're bringing onto the environment. So when you do an autopilot, what the end user will have? End user will put his username, is basically his company email ID, his password. Then as soon as he does that, there should be a sequence of activities that should happen within your Azure Active Directory, within your SCCM client, within your on-premise Active Directory and your SCCM client. So there's a list of activities that will happen, okay, when you do a Windows 10 autopilot, and that has to happen within sync. There is about close to 18 steps that will happen with some few sub steps. I'm going to talk about all those steps in detail so that you'll understand when an autopilot is failing in the hybrid Azure AD join, you exactly know what to fix in Active Directory. Now the point here is why I will be telling this is you guys are not AD admins. Maybe one or two guys. Most of you guys are SCCM admins with no access or no enterprise access to Active Directory. You will have to coordinate with the AD team who have no idea what is autopilot. For them, it is a secondary activity. So basically, you have to speak in their language, make them understand, and get through your autopilot. So all those things, what you have to tell them, what are the parameters that will be affected within your on-premise Active Directory, all those things we will see in the class. So this is the autopilot side, because most of you guys would be starting with the autopilot project, okay, because that is majorly used for Intune. Okay, so because since the Intune cannot support apps for more than 8 GB, most of the companies are reluctant to go to Intune, and that's the reason they are only sticking to autopilot as of now, because it can be on the go. You can give the machines on the go, and a lot of image management issues, and since the size of the images are like 40 GB, 50 GB, all of those can be avoided. Now, these are the two environments we'll be looking into. Now, let's talk about the differences between your SCCM and your Intune. So that should be the one of the simple idea that you want to get from this class, right? So what is the differences from your SCCM Intune? Most of you guys would have read a lot about it. So let me put some pointers. Okay, SCCM, 2 or 3 pointers Intune. So SCCM is completely on-prem solution. Yes, you have your CMG, yeah, but still it's an on-prem solution. Okay, Intune is a cloud-native solution, right? Anything else you guys can think of? Guys, anything else you guys can think of? I'm pretty open to. Okay, let me.
Is it something like pro and cons or something like that?
Not pro and cons. Just giving an idea. You can tell pro and cons also. It's okay. You can tell pro and cons also.
Okay, SCCM we need to periodically update, upgrade. But
Exactly, you need to update your SCCM, and you need servers. Okay, you need servers to host them on
and we need to
premise.
regularly patch the servers.
Patching the servers. Okay, here you don't
And
need to
again,
do
we
all
need
those
to,
things.
yes, we need to monitor the server
Perfect.
also 24/7, right? And
Yes.
also we need
Okay.
to monitor the DP servers,
High
WSUS servers.
maintenance. High maintenance. Exactly. So these are the things that you will have to tell me. Now, even it's very costly affair, right? You need SQL to manage data. You need SQL. Okay, as a
Yes.
prerequisite. Here you don't need. All that you need is only one browser.
But
Only
one
one
thing you cannot
browser.
deploy the OSD through Intune and still in the development, but which can be done
You
through
can
SCCM
challenge that.
export.
I can actually challenge you. You cannot. Yes, you in Intune. We cannot do a bare metal installation. Okay, whereas here you can do a bare metal OS installation. We just, if you upload, press F12, you can start doing it, right? This is what you're talking, right?
Yeah.
But if you already have an OEM version, any kind of an operating system, say Windows 10 operating system in that machine, you can reset the entire operating system and remove all the apps. Okay, you can put it back into your the fresh machine. You can bring it back to like a new machine. I'll talk about that. That's in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Like you say, bare metal installation. So I think we do the rebuild process in Intune, like to rebuild a machine.
No, even to rebuild a machine, rebuild a machine, you will need to have OS inside that. What if the machine does not even have a OS?
Yeah, but we install OS, but the
We have
application.
autopilot for that, right? If
Correct.
the
Yeah.
device don't have a OS,
So
That's
no,
we have autopilot
autopilot.
installed.
So this, you guys came to the right point. Autopilot will not install OS. Understand that.
yeah. That's
Oh,
Autopilot
okay, okay,
will
okay.
not. It will provision your OS. It will configure your OS. It will
Yes,
not
yes.
install the operating
Mm.
system. You
Yeah.
should have
Bare
a
metal means,
pre-installed operating system.
yeah, bare metal means it's just a hardware, no OS or nothing. Yeah,
It's
got it.
basic, simple, bones of your this thing. Nothing. No software. Only BIOS will be there. In that you can install. You can do a Pixie boot and you can install OS, right? In SCCM.
Yeah.
Whereas in
But
Intune,
in Intune
you cannot.
also, we can do the installation of the OS, but it requires tricky bit of what I can say, like still in the phase of Using the Azure storage option, we can do that, but still in trial versions, I would say, as per
Okay,
my
but
latest.
from my understanding of production as of now, from the documents which I've seen, I've not come across that for the bare metal, because so it's about 5 to 6 GB with it should have been internet connected, and your BIOS should be internet connected. I don't think so that is possible, but yeah, I look into that from what you said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the best thing is, when it comes to see, for me, SCCM is always favorite. Okay, because I've worked almost 10 years in that. Okay, but getting to know Intune and the flexibility in the after pandemic. Okay, SCCM is starting to become my favorite in many ways, because of if you're able to use SCCM to its fullest within its limitations, and if you're good in scripting, you can achieve almost 95 to 98% of whatever you can do in SCCM, except onto the part of deploying an application of more than 8 GB, or handling the bare metal machines. Other
I
than
won't
that, you
agree. Based on the 8 GB application, I have done myself like a couple of more than 60, like 32 GB, more than 32 GB. Also, have done that.
on
Uh,
Intune,
yes,
by dividing them or putting it as
not
single
even
package.
dividing. There is only one solution. So always we need to speak to Microsoft to increase our tenant application size to more than whatever we want it. If you have a premium
Huh.
support
Okay.
customer, then that can be done, and we have done that.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. I have not done that. But maybe if I come across those scenarios, yes. But ideally, the Microsoft itself
As
says,
per Microsoft, 8 GB, correct.
yeah, they themselves are limited to 8 GB. Okay, yes, it's good to know the crowd is pretty nice. Okay, now these are some of the samples between your SCCM and Intune. Now, say if you want to deploy an application, so there are about two methods in which we deploy. One is the LOB method, line of business, and that is like direct your AppV or your MSI you can deploy. What if you want to deploy some customized applications? Okay, like your MSI is customized, or you want to deploy it using your app deployment toolkit. We use something called as Win32 application. Now, what I have done is I have basically published one of the applications to my Intune machine. So let me show you in the company portal. So company portal is your software centered equivalent within your Intune. So for company portal, if you have to publish, you have to publish it to the users. Okay. So let me open up a company portal here. So I've just deployed a 7-zip application as a Win32 app. I thought of showing you the complete process, but it took a long time. But still, so now see, once you publish the app, okay, in Intune, what we will do, sorry, in SCCM, what we will do, we'll check it in the app intent eval.log, we'll check it in the app discover.log, then we check it in the app enforcement.log. In similar way, okay, we have something called as Intune management extension log here, where we can check, and also I'll show you how it gets downloaded. Now, before even I go to the download, before even I click on install, let me go to the location where it will get first downloaded, and then it will basically get expanded or exported. So let me go to C:/program files x86 / Microsoft Intune management extension content incoming. So what will happen is, first, there are about 32 steps that will happen before this, guys, but I'm going to talk about simple steps within that so that you don't get confused. First it will get downloaded here. Okay, then it'll get unzipped in this location. So where it will get unzipped, so let me open up folder again. It will go to C, Windows, IME cache. Oh, my Windows spelling was wrong. So first what will happen is it will get downloaded here, it will get unzipped here. So let me show you that. Install, and let me open this and keep. You can see the app getting coming here. See, it's downloading and installing. Can you see the app, guys? See, it's basically it's in the bin folder. It's after that it will get cache will come here. See, you can see that it will get deleted. It will get deleted immediately after the installation. Your 7-zip app, you can see that. This is the kind of workflows that you can expect for most of the other things as well. So after see, it's installed successfully. If you refresh it, it's gone. Could you see that it came here, then it got unzipped, it came to the IME cache, it got installed now. Okay. Now where can you see the log file for this? You need an log file, right? So where can you see your IME extension logs? Any idea, guys? Most of you guys are, some of you guys are working on this, right? Where can you see the IME extension log? So let me help you with that. So go to program data.
Yeah, go to program, see program data, into
The program
Microsoft,
data.
Intune.
Yes. Microsoft Intune management extension logs. Now here, unfortunately, I don't have a CM trace. Let me see if I can get the CM trace. Give me a minute.
This one, Kishore, the CCM cache will get deleted, right? On the client
Yes,
device.
IME cache will get deleted. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one beautiful thing they introduced here. In SCCM, the CCM cache will be, piled up, right? Like one after the other.
Yeah, that's a piled up, and you will have to do a cleanup. And yes, that's
Yes.
a pain, right? Your patches and all will not
Yeah.
work. Your big applications will not get installed. Yeah, that's one of the good. See, I'll tell you. Okay, tell me one disadvantage of this. Can any of you guys tell me one disadvantage of this?
Again for uninstallation, again I need to go and click on company portal, and again it has to download and uninstall, right? That is the one
I'll
drawback.
tell you. Sometimes what will happen is if you want to repair your app, okay, in
Uh-huh.
SCCM you had an option to keep it permanently in system cache. But you had that option, okay, in SCCM, okay, content staging was there. Here you don't have that option. So what will happen is when you have applications that was going for repair or selfie or any other activity where it requires the source, so you will end up, the method to do it is you'll have to download the app, you'll have to copy the app to a temp location or something and then install it from there. Because when you repair the app or something, it will go back and look for the source, and on the source is IME cache, it will not be there. You got the idea? So that is one of the problems which we are actually facing in our production. In our production, so what we are doing is we are basically moving it to the temp, and from there we are installing it. Okay, this is one of the problems that most of the companies, if you are doing an Intune application deployment, you will be facing. Got it? This is one of the disadvantages which I could think of. Other than this, I don't think so. I could think of anything else. So if you open, yeah, Here we can see the installation. This is just like your Win32 app. So you can see the payload and everything, all the details you can see here. So application has been checked in. So this is one of the nicest logs which we use a lot when we have some issues. So like this, we will be looking through the logs, okay, what all happened, and we'll be mostly concentrating on the back-end process of all the activities that we do. Basically the things that you don't find on YouTube and that you don't find on Udemy. Okay, so my practical experiences of my projects and the loopholes and the issues that I have found, I'll be discussing when I go to that particular topic. Okay, trust me, Intune has is a pretty developing tool. It's pretty interesting tool, but still it has a lot of issues. So one of the issues which I found was, even before Microsoft released an article that you should not install the client with SCCM. Long time ago, I'm talking about 2021. We had found a workaround to install a SCCM client using Intune during the autopilot. So like this, I'll talk about the workarounds which we have provided, which has the product limitations as well, which you guys also will face and which you guys can also use at that point in time. And if you guys are still working in Intune as well, also learn a little bit here and there from you guys as well, based on the kind of issues that you're facing currently within your project. Okay, and it will be very detailed. When it comes to autopilot, it will be very granular and very detailed, because there's not of public knowledge. There's not a lot of public knowledge on autopilot. So on the backend process. So I'll try to give you the workflows, how things goes, especially on the autopilot side. Other than that, various other things like enrollment restrictions or Windows Update for Business, or converting your group policies to Intune policies. So we'll be looking into all of those chapters as well. Okay. Yes. Now, if you guys have any questions about anything, okay, other including Intune packaging or SCCM, we can definitely have a discussion on that. Let's go with the questions, guys. Mani, Prajwal,
I don't have any. I think so. One
Santosh.
suggestion, from my end, I think you would have started with the beginning of the introduction. What exactly is Intune? How does it work in the with respect to devices? And what is IME? And what is the role of the IME extension? And how exactly it is going to communicate? I'm not sure whether you're going to cover in the upcoming classes.
It
Maybe
will be covered in the upcoming class. All of us, so basically how IME works, what is in the background, what are the registry that will be seen, how do the certificates come when the enrollment happens, how does the certificates come, okay, what are the event viewer things that you have to see, all of it you will see.
yeah, and so I think you will
We'll
cover
go up to a
the
very
IORIT
detailed
level.
level of that.
Uh,
So this is just to give an overview of how your class is going to be, how is your lab setup is going to be. Normal question would be like, okay, what is the lab setup that is going to be? The answer is I'll give you an ISO of Windows 10, and also I'll give you a VMware software, or you can use Oracle VirtualBox. And using that, you have to just build one Windows 10 machine, and you can enroll that into the lab. Okay, and you can play, and you'll be having this lab for about 3 months, and later you can create it again using a different tenant, so not a problem. Okay, so lab, it's going to be, as much as possible, it's going to be a practical session, which we'll be covering. And during the duration of the class, what we will do is we'll create one WhatsApp group for your class, and any questionnaires or anything, all the materials that you need during the class and after the class will be shared, so that you can do the practicals even after the session is over. Okay, and all of you will be given your own IDs, and you will have to use that IDs to log into the Intune to practice.
Yeah. I have a question related to the autopilot right now.
What is the question?
Okay, question is like, while vendor provide us the machine and we do the autopilot process, like, the driver work fine, but when we rebuild the machine with the bootable USB, so there will be like, sometimes the mouse is not working, and sometimes like the touchpad, or I mean, there are some driver issues, like, so what kind of ISO?
Now,
Yes.
first thing is, normally what happens is, are you using the same OEM image that has been provided to you by the vendor for that particular device?
Actually, I am downloading it from the volume licensing from
Mm.
Microsoft. So it's the updated version of the like
Now, why do
July.
you want to reimage? Why do you want to reimage the machine when you can just reset it?
I mean, if for example, one
Remove all the-
user leaves the company, so the machine comes to the site support user, and they were trying to rebuild it because they were formatting the machine. So in order, like, to ready that machine for the other
So
user, yeah.
Microsoft says, don't format the machine, reset the machine. And you can also, if that machine was already in Intune, you can, let me show you, if it is already in Intune, you can do this. You can do something called as fresh start. That will basically do all the cleanup, okay, for you. Okay, here, there's something called as fresh start. You can do this.
Which one? The
Fresh start.
Oh, okay, fresh
I'm
start.
assuming the machine is already in Intune. So what will happen is, if you are trying to download it from the volume licensing side, obviously you will have to install drivers after that. Whatever is the compatible drivers and everything, those things will not be handled. Maybe after autopilot, you can do the deployment as an application and things like that. But still, this is
So
recommended to do a
like
fresh
in
start.
SCCM, we create a driver package, like, and it's like automatically.
In
Is it
Intune, we
possible?
don't do that.
Yeah, is it possible like we can inject using DISM to inject the drivers in the Vim
We can
file?
definitely do that. You can definitely do that as a Win32 app. You don't have a separate node for drivers here. As a
Yeah,
Win32
but
app, you can deploy it. But yes, you can do
Okay.
it.
So what all the things you are going to cover in this NTO course? If somebody is if basically for the what all things you will be cover?
Wasn't the course content shared with you guys?
I
So
think
these are the
they have
things. These
shared
are
it in
pretty.
the group.
Along with this, yeah. Was this shared with you guys already? Course content?
yeah,
Yeah, I
No,
think
no.
individually they have sent it to our WhatsApp.
Okay. These are the
Can
things
you?
which I have shared. But along with this, I've added few more things also. So I'll be sharing those things also. Okay.
Okay.
So I believe if not shared, I'll make sure it will be shared to you guys. Okay. My assumption is it is already given to you guys, the course content. Okay. So mostly on along with this, it will be mostly on like background working of all of these is my idea to show to you guys. Because whenever I take some
Can you?
interviews or something, I see people just telling me about how they do it, but when something is like what is a background process, nobody answers me. So I make sure at least my students get that info.
Okay.
also
Okay.
you are
And one
recording the
more thing
session too.
which
Okay, sorry.
And one more thing which I want to show is there's an immense job opportunities when it comes to Intune as of now in the market. So say if I go into Google and say, if I go here and type Intune jobs, or So what you're trying to do is an investment on you guys. Okay. So this investment should not go for waste. So that's why I'm showing you guys about, how much jobs they're receiving. Just type Intune jobs and you see a lot of them. Few of them are 6 hours and 15 hours before they're posted. So now a lot of companies require people SCCM skills plus little bit of Intune skills. They don't need Intune experts or such as they show here, but you need to be an expert in Intune, sorry, SCCM, but little bit of Intune skills. That will, that's what they're looking for as of now. After here, it will become like Intune experts and little bit of SCCM. So that transition is happening as of now, because earlier days it used to be like people who knew application packaging did not know SCCM because it's separating. Then slowly they started asking people with application packaging knowledge should know application deployment using SCCM. Yet they started asking that guy with packaging knowledge, they should know application deployment, they should know patch management also. So that kind of an integration is always in any technology it will happen. But currently the market is, if you know a little bit of Intune, not the expert level, you can get a job without any problem. But yes, this is not going to be a little bit of Intune. Your class is going to cover in-depth practical knowledge of Intune. Yes. Yeah. If anybody has any questions? Somebody was about to tell something.
Yeah, okay. This is not related to the course, but the timing wise, what will be the
Timing would be the same time, 8 to 9 every day. Okay, this is a free slot I have as of now. So I'll be like doing the class.
What will be the duration of this course?
It will be a month, about 20 hours. Might go
Okay.
up more than 20 hours sometimes, but I don't know. It depends on number of people, the kind of questions you ask. It depends on that, because I make sure I answer as much as possible. The engaging crowd is there.
Okay.
I don't mind taking more classes.
What about course
And
fee?
one more thing is, even after the course is over, you will always be in touch with me as well while you are doing your production activities or such. You can always consult with me in case you have some doubts. Your relationship does not end after the course is over. It's going to be forever. Okay, we can also, because we're all going to be working somewhere, we'll be meeting somewhere. Okay, I might also be working with you in any projects, I don't know. Okay, so you can always consult with me through a call or through WhatsApp even after the course is over.
Sure, Kishore. So what about the course fee? Did you have mentioned somewhere? I might have missed.
I don't handle the course fees because I work for these guys
Okay,
institute, so they will handle all those things. So I
sure,
don't
sure.
handle any course fees or anything.
Okay. Are you recording the course, like, after?
Yes, guys. So courses will be recorded, and all the after every class, it will be shared through you to WhatsApp link, and you can download it. And it's permanently for you guys for future reference. No limitation of anything. It's permanently for you guys to refer it. Okay. Yeah, all the courses will be recorded. And so if in case if you miss the class, sometimes emergencies happen, you can still review the class, and you can give me a call and say, hey, I didn't understand this, I understood this. We can also have a small discussion on that. It's not a problem. It's going to be a holistic, it's going to be a very interactive session, a very positive one from where I see it. Okay. I just encourage a lot of questions so that it'll keep me on my toes, and it'll help me to do better for my next students as well. Yeah. Any
Sure,
other
sure.
things that you guys need to know?
Great if you can send this the course syllabus on the WhatsApp group so that we can understand what you are going to cover. So that will be good.
If you have dropped your number, I'll make sure. What's your name?
Sahil.
Sahil. Okay.
Yes.
Do one thing. I'll ask those guys to send it. I don't see your number here. Just drop your
I
number.
can.
I'll ask them to send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Course details. Those are basic things that we give it. So Sahil requires a course. Okay. I'll put it. Okay. Anything
Okay, I
else
just
that
sent
you guys?
the number.
Yeah. Maybe last minute, if you guys have joined through some WhatsApp or something, maybe you wouldn't have got. Most of the people would have got it. Okay. Anything else, guys? Any other questions that you guys have? So one thing is make sure you guys have at least a machine, a simple machine with at least around 8 GB RAM or something. That 4 GB you can dedicate it to your Windows 10 machine, and you can practice whatever I teach you in the class, so that you can see it on your own, and you can come back to me with a lot of questions. Okay, and this
Okay.
is not
So
going to be like your
what
Udemy or like your YouTube. It is going to be interactive. It is. I'm not going to, stretch out on a small topics. It's going to be like unique. It's going to be very crisp and very clear of what you need for your production. Okay. And because I did see a lot of YouTube videos, and I did see a lot of um, uh, this thing Udemy. I didn't see anything that I could use for my production. So it will be pretty different from what you see there. Yeah.
So one more thing is, you like every month you did this training, or like some.
Sorry to interrupt. I have only one question to trainer.
Yeah. Tell me.
Uh, yeah, so I've seen so many lot of videos and about Intune, and there's a lot of blogs. What
Mhm.
exactly is unique on your training with respect to open source available contents and the videos? What I have. So I just want to know that.
See, unique is my experience. Other than that, nothing else. Okay, I'll be sharing you my project experiences, my pain points that I faced, and how I resolved them, and what potholes that you can avoid. Okay, and how to handle if you fall into certain situations, which are pretty much any kind of an autopilot project or any kind of an Intune migration project. Okay, that's the only thing unique. Okay, very less people have good production experience, and very less people who have production experience are teaching. So that's the only thing. And because I myself get a lot of information from Intune Intune, your Microsoft sites. Okay, I myself I interpret it, I understand it, and I basically put it in my production. So other than that, maybe my interactions with Microsoft, something unique which is not public domain knowledge, that I might share. That's the only unique thing.
Got it. Because same the content like, so what are the backend flows and everything, like if you see the log flows and
That's the
connectivity
thing which,
and
yes, that's the
yeah,
point,
those
you see, because the content looks on the high level, but I clearly said it's going to be the same content, but what I'll be covering is what is the difference between each of those things, what is the backend flows that will go in, is what is going to help you in production. Just putting some PPTs is not going to help. So yes, I will be running PPTs, but very less. PPT is just for you to visualize, mostly on the hybrid Azure Ready Join, because I don't have the infra for that, and it's pretty expensive to do that. But for the Azure Ready Join, it will all be practicals that you see, because we can try out anything that we want for Azure Ready Join.
are you going to demonstrate co-management?
I will not be able to demonstrate a co-management, but I will be sharing you the details, very intricate details about it,
Okay,
because I need an SCCM infra for that. I don't have one.
understood.
Yeah. And it's so I have to build it, and it's basically it's going to take a lot of effort
So
and
this is
time
going
and
to
money.
be like a cloud only infrastructure, what you're going to
It's going to
teach
be an
and
Azure Ready Cloud only infrastructure, and I'll be telling the differences what you will find on the co-management infrastructure or SCCM infrastructure. So basically, when you enroll an or an SCCM or a co-management device onto
the
the
load behavior, how to set the load.
Intune, the event viewer will show it as 75. Okay, whereas when you do an Azure Ready Join, it will show as 72. So all those things I'll tell you.
Got it.
Yes. Anything else, guys?
think we didn't get your details, like the phone number or something here.
I will not be sharing my phone number for the
Oh.
demo classes, but only for people who have enrolled. I'll be creating a WhatsApp group, and you can always reach out to me there. Because the institute is not very happy if I do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. I hope you guys make a good use of this opportunity. See you guys in the class. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.